Court is in session, and this case involves the fate of Chick-fil-A. Now, they are not the defendant in this case. The defendant is New York State Assemblyman Tony Simone, who is on trial over a proposed law that has a lot to do with Chick-fil-A. So he's introduced a bill that would require that restaurants inside state rest stops be open 7 days a week. It could impact specifically 9 Chick-fil-A restaurants that operate inside New York travel plazas if approved. Now, this law doesn't specifically cite Chick-fil-A. It could conceivably impact some other restaurant, but it seems pretty clear that it's designed to affect Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, notably, if you're from outside of the United States, you might not know it, is not open on Sundays. It never has been anywhere in the country. You can go there 6 days out of the week. Now, he doesn't want that. Okay, he thinks that it's, I guess, inconvenient, and we have a state official who has talked about the contract that Chick-fil-A has signed with the highway system for these rest stop locations, saying the bill addresses the need for any restaurant that serves travelers to be open 7 days a week. When it comes to travel areas like rest stops, bus stations, or airports, people are often traveling on Sundays, and so it doesn't make any sense for one of the few restaurants available at these locations to be closed on one of the busiest travel days of the week. So he thinks if you're taking up one of these limited spots at these rest stops, you should have to be open. Chick-fil-A obviously has resisted that from the very beginning, since effectively 1946 when it was sort of launched, or the predecessor to Chick-fil-A. So Rayyvana, is he guilty or is he innocent? In which case Chick-fil-A should be forced to be open 7 days a week.
I actually fully support him, and not because I love Chick-fil-A. I don't ever eat Chick-fil-A, despite there being multiple locations in Chicago. But these are lucrative, like real estate, essentially, for restaurants. And there's people who, not just travelers, but people who are forced to drive on Sundays. They are truck drivers for a living, and I think that when they have to fuel up, there should be food options other than random gas station packaged food for them to eat. And if they're going to be giving these, lucrative contracts to Chick-fil-A, then Chick-fil-A should have to be open 7 days a week to service those travelers and those truck drivers and people who just drive for a living generally. And I'm sorry, I think that the argument that Chick-fil-A will inevitably make, which is that for religious reasons they're closed on Sunday, it's so far removed from what their business is that it is such a weak argument for them to make. I'm sorry, you're not a Christian bookstore. You are a chicken restaurant. You can be open on Sunday. It's just an absurd position to have, and I think it would be really beneficial because there's a lot of other businesses that would love to take up that space and would happily be open on Sundays to service those, the people who would be eating there.
Now, what if their chicken sandwiches were cut in the shape of a cross? Would that be enough? Would that be relevant? Okay, so I did not know how you would rule. Now, as everyone watching this, including Representative Green, hello, Representative, knows that I am a godless atheist. And Chick-fil-A's political advocacy against the LGBTQ community in the past has bothered me. So you might expect that I would come down hard on Chick-fil-A. I will say that I agree with all of your points, Rayyvana. I don't think it has anything fundamentally to do with their business. I think it doesn't make sense to me, but I also don't think that it has to. I think that it seems kind of dumb to me as an atheist to close your store 1 day a week, and it has inconvenienced me in the past when I've wanted to go, and it always feels like it's on Sunday. But I also don't think that you should be obligated. You're allowed to close down your store for stupid reasons. I think that should be a right that you should have. So apologies to all the conservatives who expect me to come down hard against Chick-fil-A, but I think they should be allowed. Now, I think maybe a case could be made. If it's the only food option at these places, then maybe. But if there's others, I think it's okay. And I don't think getting rid of them would be a popular move for the people who go through these rest stops. Chick-fil-A is very popular. And so even in lib places, there's a Chick-fil-A near where I live that always has a massive line of cars. So I think it would actually be doing a disservice to a lot of drivers. So I'm gonna come down on the other side. I am trying now to find the results of the poll. Can anyone tell me what the poll said? Because we're now in a split decision. We have to go to our viewers on Twitch. Did anyone manage to save that? Mike, did you save that? Oh, he did. Okay, thank you. So we asked our viewers, should Chick-fil-A be required to be open Sundays? And in a relatively close vote, yes got 56% of the votes. So I have been overruled, and Justice Rayyvana and Justice Audience are going to require Chick-fil-A to change their tune. By the way, thank you everybody who voted. I also just want to say, like, I said that right wingers would expect us to come down this way. Charlie Kirk had tweeted, liberals hate Christianity so much they want to make it illegal for Chick-fil-A to be closed on Sundays to provide employees a day of rest. Which, first of all, I would love to see him weighing in on if like there was a Muslim business that was inconveniencing him in some way. But interestingly, he either doesn't remember what the positions he's held in the past, or hopes that you don't, because producer Mike had found his tweet from 2019. In response to what I had referred to, saying Chick-fil-A betrayed us. We stood by them for years during every attack and controversy. Despite this, they announced they will no longer support Christian organizations. Even worse, it has come out they support the Southern Poverty Law Center. No more Chick-fil-A ever. Seems like he's moved back onto the Chick-fil-A train there. That's what these boycotts are worth. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.